Finally tonight, our person of the week. The person we have chosen is a young woman who at an early age had a lofty dream, and she's never let go of it. Along the way, she's made a career out of confronting her own fears. It's an approach we don't recommend for everyone, and neither does she.
I wouldn't put anyone up to this. You have to take responsibility for yourself when you're going to take a risk like this.
In Acapulco, Mexico, high above the Pacific Ocean, Montana Miller from Cambridge, Massachusetts, is about to make history, and she is terrified.
Shaking with fear.
Because Montana Miller is about to become one of the first women to plunge off this cliff where the slightest error can cripple or kill the most experienced diver. And Montana Miller is not one of those.
I learned my first high dive last summer.
So what on earth is she doing perched on a cliff above the Pacific Ocean?
I think we've all had a longing to fly. We've all looked up at the sky and wished that we could be birds and that we could fly, and then most of us have to just accept that that'll never happen.
Montana Miller has never accepted anything of the kind. At home in Cambridge, finishing up at Harvard at the age of 26, she can already look back on enough excitement to fill a lifetime. She was a gymnast in high school, top of her class, and could have gone on to any college in the nation. But Montana Miller just couldn't get rid of a dream.
My dream is to fly.
And the only way to do that was to find a place where she could get a higher education. In 1990, Montana Miller first attracted our attention when she was accepted by the prestigious National Center for the Circus Arts in Chalon, France. Why the circus?
Because this is the best place to fly.
Hundreds apply, but few make it here. They had never accepted an American before Montana Miller.
It's not. I think the only big jump is the first time that you take a swing on the trapeze, and that's really a life-changing moment. I'm trying to prove that I can be a good trapeze artist.
And so Montana Miller learned how to fly and graduated to the big top as a trapeze artist. Her mother, who has stood by her all the way, watched her first performance.
All I can say is I have utter confidence in her in the air. On the street, she's still my baby. I still wish she'd wear a bike helmet.
As it turned out, 3 years later, Montana Miller, the daredevil, was home simply riding her bicycle when she was hit by a truck that had run a red light. Her leg was fractured.
I will never again ride a bicycle in Cambridge.
Miller decided to study folklore and mythology at Harvard, and she took up diving, which carried her back into the air. During the summer at Kenobi Lake in New Hampshire, she joined a high diving act.
This is such a pure form of flight because there's really nothing up there with you. It's just your body falling through space.
And now, Acapulco, where men have been diving from the cliffs for 60 years, and until now, they would never let women do it.
You can hurt yourself pretty badly landing wrong in the water, but nothing like what's going to happen if you hit the cliff on the way down.
Of course she made it. Montana Miller has always done what she set out to do. It's been a busy week. Her class in Harvard honored her achievements, and she was invited to join an international team that will tour China in the spring. Montana Miller will go on living out her dream.
Only a few women in the world have the guts to go off the cliffs here, and I'm so proud to be one of them.
And so we choose Montana Miller. Every high dive, she says, is terrifying for me. There is not a moment when I think, okay, I really want to go now. But conquering her fear, she believes, is the greatest expression of freedom. That's our report on World News Tonight. Later this evening on 2020, the single largest cause of blindness in this country, and it is getting the least amount of funding to find a cure. 2020.